A strong life isn't built when everything is easy. It's built when you decide not to break. I know some of you are tired, not lazy, not ungrateful, just tired from carrying dreams that haven't arrived yet. Tired of explaining your worth. Tired of being strong for everyone else while quietly wondering who's strong for you. If that's you, you're exactly where you're supposed to be today. Because strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you choose again and again. Strength doesn't begin in your muscles. It begins in your honesty. For a long time, I thought being strong meant smiling through pain, showing up even when I was breaking, convincing the world and myself that I had it all under control. But that kind of strength is fragile. It cracks quietly, and one day it collapses. Real strength starts the moment you stop lying to yourself, the moment you admit that something hurts, that something feels heavy, that something inside you is asking to be seen, not silenced. We are taught to be fine, fine at work, fine in relationships, fine in public. But fine is often a mask we wear because we're afraid of what the truth might cost us. We fear that honesty will make us look weak. That if we say, I'm struggling, we'll lose respect, lose love, lose control. But here's what I've learned the hard way. The lies cost you more than the truth ever will. When you ignore your pain, it doesn't disappear. It waits. It grows quieter, deeper, heavier. It shows up later as burnout, as resentment, as exhaustion you can't explain. Strength is not pretending you're okay. Strength is standing in front of the mirror and saying, this is where I am, without judgment. Without shame, truth is sacred. Because truth is where healing begins. You cannot build a strong life on denial. You cannot move forward while refusing to name what's holding you back. The strongest people I know are not the loudest. They are the most honest, with themselves first. Honesty doesn't mean you complain, it means you confront. It means you stop running from your own emotions and start listening to them. Pain is not your enemy, pain is information. It's telling you something matters, something needs attention, something needs change. When you honor the truth of where you are, you give yourself permission to grow from there, not from where you pretend to be, but from where you actually are. There is a quiet courage in saying, I don't have all the answers, I need help, I'm scared, but I'm still here. That courage becomes your foundation. Because once you tell the truth, you stop wasting energy performing. You stop living for appearances. You stop carrying weight that was never meant to be carried alone. Truth simplifies your life. It strips away the unnecessary. It leaves you with clarity. And clarity is power. When you're honest, your decisions become cleaner. Your boundaries become stronger. Your yes means yes. Your no protects your peace. You stop betraying yourself to keep others comfortable. You stop shrinking your needs to fit someone else's expectations. And here's the most beautiful part. The moment you get honest with yourself, life meets you there. The right people lean in. The right paths reveal themselves. The right strength begins to form, not the loud kind, but the lasting kind. You don't need to expose your wounds to the world, but you owe yourself the truth. Say it in your prayers. Say it in your journal. Say it in the quiet moments when no one is watching. This hurts, this matters, I want more, I deserve better. Those words are not weakness. They are the first bricks of a strong life. Because strength isn't about how much you can endure in silence. It's about how bravely you face what highlight needs to heal. And when you start there, with truth, everything else becomes possible. After honesty comes discipline. Because once you tell yourself the truth, you can no longer look away. Discipline is not punishment. It is devotion. It's the quiet way you say, I matter enough to show up for myself. Even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one is applauding. We live in a world that celebrates motivation. But motivation is emotional. It rises and falls with mood, weather, and praise. Discipline is spiritual. It stays when motivation leaves. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Every single day, there were days I didn't feel confident, didn't feel ready, didn't feel brave, but I showed up anyway. Not because I felt strong, but because I respected the life I was trying to build. That's what discipline really is. Self-respect in motion. It's waking up early when comfort whispers, stay. It's practicing when talent says, you're already good enough. It's resting when ego says, keep proving. Discipline is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters, consistently. Strong lives are not built in dramatic moments. They are built in ordinary ones, in routines no one sees, in habits no one claps for, in promises kept quietly. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, something inside you strengthens. Your confidence doesn't come from compliments. It comes from consistency. You trust yourself because you've earned that trust. And when you trust yourself, fear loses its grip. Discipline teaches you patience. It reminds you that growth takes time, that mastery is slow, that becoming is not instant. We live in an age of shortcuts, but there are no shortcuts to a strong life. You cannot skip the work and keep the reward. You cannot rush roots and expect unshakable strength. Discipline teaches humility. It tells you that talent needs training, dreams need structure, faith needs action, and some days discipline looks like pushing forward. Other days it looks like stopping, saying no, protecting your energy. Discipline is not burnout, it's balance with intention. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Miss a day, return the next, fall off, get back on. That return is strength. The strongest people I know are not extreme, they are steady. They don't chase intensity, they commit to process. And here's the truth. No one tells you, discipline creates freedom. When your habits are strong, your mind is lighter. When your routines are clear, your decisions are easier. When your discipline is rooted, your confidence is calm. You stop negotiating with your future. You start honoring it. Discipline is how dreams become reality. Not overnight, but inevitably. Every early morning, every hard choice, every time you do the thing you said you would do, you are becoming unbreakable. Because discipline builds identity, and identity builds destiny. One choice at a time, one habit at a time, one faithful step at a time. This is how strong lives are made, not loudly but deliberately. There comes a moment in life when effort alone is not enough. You've done the work, you've shown up, you've stayed disciplined, and still the outcome hasn't arrived. That's where faith steps in. Faith is not a belief that everything will be easy. It's a decision to keep going when nothing makes sense yet. I've walked through seasons where the path ahead was invisible. No explanation, no guarantee. Just a quiet inner voice saying, trust. Trust is hard when you are taught to control, to plan, to calculate every move. But some of the most important moments in your life will ask you to release control and walk anyway. Faith is strength you haven't seen yet. It's the courage to move without proof, the humility to accept that timing is not always yours to decide, the grace to believe that what is meant for you will not miss you. Faith doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It means fear doesn't get the final word. There were times I prayed not for success but for direction, not for applause but for peace. And every time I listened, life aligned in ways I could never have planned. Faith teaches patience. It slows your rush. It steadies your heart. It reminds you that waiting is not wasted time. that preparation often happens in silence, that growth is happening even when you can't measure it. When you walk by faith, you stop forcing outcomes. You stop knocking down doors that aren't meant to open. You stop begging for places that don't honor you. Instead, you learn to recognize peace as guidance. What's meant for you will feel aligned, not anxious. It will challenge you, yes, but it won't betray your soul. Faith also teaches surrender, and surrender is not weakness, it's wisdom. Surrender says, I've done my part, now I trust the rest. It allows space for grace, for timing, for divine orchestration. Some blessings arrive delayed so they can arrive complete. Faith carries you through rejection, through redirection, through moments when your confidence feels thin. And when the breakthrough finally comes, you realize something beautiful. You were being shaped for it all along. Your patience grew, your character deepened, your resilience matured. Faith didn't just bring you to the destination, it prepared you to sustain it. And here's the quiet truth. Faith grows when you use it. Every time you choose trust over panic, every time you choose prayer over pressure, every time you choose hope over despair, your strength multiplies. You don't need to see a whole staircase. Just take the next step. You don't need all the answers. Just the courage to move forward anyway. Because faith is not about certainty, it's about commitment. Commitment to keep believing, to keep becoming, to keep walking, even when the road is foggy. And one day, you'll look back and realize the moments you thought you were lost were actually the moments you were being led. There is a strength that comes from striving. And then there is a deeper strength that comes from appreciation. Gratitude is not pretending life is perfect. It's recognizing that even in the imperfect, something sacred remains. I learned this in moments when life didn't look the way I had imagined, when plans changed, when doors closed, when I had to grieve versions of myself I thought I would become. In those moments, gratitude didn't erase the pain, but it kept me anchored. Gratitude reminds you of what's still standing when everything feels like it's falling apart. Your breath, your body, your ability to begin again. When you practice gratitude, you shift from scarcity to sufficiency. You stop measuring your life by what's missing. You start honoring what's present. And presence is powerful. A grateful heart doesn't deny struggle. It gives struggle context. It says, this is hard, but I am still held. This is painful, but I am still blessed. This is uncertain, but I am still here. Gratitude trains your mind to look for light. Not because darkness isn't real, but because light is still possible. There were days when gratitude was the only thing that kept me upright. Not big gratitude, not dramatic gratitude. Quiet gratitude for a kind word, for a safe place, for strength ID. Didn't know I had until I needed it. Gratitude grounds you. It brings you back to the moment where your power actually lives. When you're grateful, comparison loses its grip. You stop chasing someone else's timeline. You stop resenting someone else's blessing. You realize there is room for all of us to shine. Gratitude also softens your heart. And a soft heart is not a weak one. It's a resilient one. When you are grateful, you move through the world with grace. You respond instead of react. You listen instead of rush. And strength built on gratitude is sustainable because it doesn't burn you out. It fills you up. A grateful person doesn't need constant validation. They know their life has value. Right now, not someday, not when. Gratitude also teaches humility. It reminds you that you didn't get here alone, that help showed up, that grace intervened, that timing mattered. And when you honor that, you walk differently, you speak differently, you serve differently. Gratitude turns survival into power. It transforms endurance into wisdom. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what is this teaching me? That shift changes everything. Because when you see your life as a gift, even on hard days, you treat it with care. You make better choices. You protect your energy. You honor your journey. Gratitude doesn't make you passive. It makes you purposeful. It fuels hope. It strengthens faith. It deepens resilience. And slowly, quietly, you realize you are not just getting through life, you are growing through it. There is a moment in every strong life when you realize something important. Strength was never meant to stop with you. Real strength overflows. For a long time, I thought success was about reaching higher, achieving more, protecting what I had worked so hard to build. But the more life shaped me, the clearer it became. The strongest people are not the ones who stand alone at the top. They are the ones who reach back down. Service changes the meaning of strength. When you serve, your life stops being just about survival. It becomes about significance. Service doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. You don't need to have everything figured out to help someone else. You only need a willing heart. I've seen this again and again. The moment you lift someone else, something inside you lifts too. The moment you give without calculation, life gives back in ways you could never plan. Service humbles you. It reminds you that your story is not separate from anyone else's, that your success is connected to something bigger than ego. When you serve, you stop asking, what can I get? And you start asking, what can I give? Time, kindness, attention, encouragement. These are not small things, they are life-changing. Service teaches you empathy, and empathy is strength with compassion. It allows you to see beyond your own struggles, to recognize pain in others without judgment, to meet people where they are. A strong life is not built on isolation, it is built on connection. When you serve, you create meaning that outlives applause. You create impact that doesn't fade when the spotlight moves on. And here's the quiet miracle of service. It heals you too. It heals the parts of you that felt unseen. It heals the parts of you that once felt powerless. It reminds you that you matter, not because of what you achieve, but because of how you love. Service keeps you grounded. It keeps your success human. It keeps your strength gentle. Because power without compassion hardens the heart. But power guided by service softens it. And a soft heart is a brave heart. You don't have to change the world all at once. Start where you are, with who is in front of you. A word of encouragement, an open door, a hand held when someone feels alone. That is how strong lives leave a mark, not through dominance, but through dignity, not through control, but through care. Service makes your strength meaningful. It gives your discipline direction, your faith expression, your gratitude purpose. And one day you'll realize the moments that mattered most were not the ones where you were admired. They were the ones where you were useful. At some point, life will knock you down, not gently, not politely, completely. And when it happens, you will question everything. Your choices, your strength, your worth. But hear me clearly. Falling does not mean you failed. It means you were brave enough to try. Resilience is not the absence of breaking. It is the courage to rebuild. I have fallen more times than I can count. Not always publicly, sometimes quietly, in moments where no one saw the tears, the doubt, the exhaustion. What kept me going was not confidence. It was choice, the choice to stand up again. Resilience is deciding again and again that this moment will not be the end of your story. You don't wake up resilient. You become resilient by surviving what you thought would destroy you. Every setback teaches you something about your limits, about your strength, about what truly matters. Pain has a way of refining you. It strips away illusions, it forces clarity. When you are broken open, you see what's real. Resilience teaches patience with yourself. It tells you healing is not linear, that some days you move forward, other days you rest. Both count. Strong people don't rush their recovery, they respect it. Resilience also means forgiving yourself for not knowing sooner, for staying too long, for choosing wrong. Grace for yourself is part of strength. There will be moments you want to quit, moments where continuing feels heavier than stopping. In those moments, don't think about forever. Think about now. Stand up today. Choose again today. Breathe today. That's how resilience works. One moment at a time. And here's the truth. Most people don't say out loud. Every comeback changes you. You don't return as the same person. You return wiser, stronger, more grounded. Your scars don't weaken you. They teach you where to protect your heart, where to set boundaries, where to honor yourself. Resilience is not loud. It's quiet determination. It's getting up when no one is watching. It's choosing hope when cynicism feels easier. It's believing in yourself after disappointment tried to convince you otherwise. Every time you rise, you rewrite your identity. You are no longer someone who just survived. You become someone who knows they can survive again. That knowledge is power. And one day you will realize the moments that nearly broke you became the moments that built you. You didn't lose time. You gained strength. You didn't fail. You trained. Resilience is choosing yourself over and over until one day standing up feels natural again. There comes a moment in your life when you understand this truth clearly. You were never meant to disappear into the background of your own story. Owning your light is not arrogance. It is responsibility. For a long time, many of us are taught to dim ourselves, to be quieter, more agreeable, less visible, less too much. But the world does not need less of you. It needs the real you. Owning your light means accepting who you are without apology. Your voice, your ambition, your sensitivity, your fire. It means no longer asking for permission to exist fully. I learned that the hard way. Every time I tried to make myself smaller so others would feel comfortable, I lost a piece of myself. And the world lost something too. Your light is not meant to compete. It is meant to contribute. When you hide it, you don't protect anyone. You only delay your purpose. Owning your light doesn't mean you never doubt yourself. It means you move forward even when doubt whispers. It means you stand rooted in who you are, especially when it would be easier to shrink. The moment you accept yourself, something shifts. Your walk changes. Your voice steadies. Your decisions become aligned. You stop chasing validation. You stop explaining your dreams to people who don't understand your calling. You realize this. Not everyone has to see your vision for it to be real. When you own your light, you give others permission to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious. Your authenticity creates space. Leadership doesn't start with authority. It starts with alignment. And alignment is powerful. Owning your light also means embracing responsibility, because light is not just for shining, it's for guiding. You don't rise just for yourself. You rise so others can see what's possible. And here's the truth. You will be misunderstood. You will be judged. You will be challenged. But none of that is a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign you're visible. And visibility is strength. When you finally stop hiding, life meets you differently. Opportunities recognize you. People feel your presence. Purpose finds momentum. You were not created to blend in. You were created to stand grounded in who you are. And when you own that, fully unapologetically, you become unshakable. Because no one can take what you've already accepted. If you want a strong life in 2026, don't wait for life to get easier. Get stronger. Tell yourself the truth. Respect yourself through discipline. Walk with faith when the path isn't clear. Practice gratitude even on hard days. Serve others with an open heart. Rise every time you fall and own your light without apology. Strength is not built in comfort. It is built in commitment. And remember this, you were never meant to just survive this life. You were meant to rise, lead, and leave it better than you found it. Don't just dream, wake up and make it real. Whatever you are carrying today, remember this. God does not place strength inside you for decoration. He places it there for destiny. Take the step, keep the faith, and trust that the same hand that brought you this far will not let you fall now. You don't need more time, you need more faith in who you're becoming. Stand up, show up, and walk forward knowing this. If God planted the dream in your heart, He also planted the strength to achieve it. Long after fear fades and doubt grows quiet, faith will still be standing. So choose faith, choose courage, choose the life you were created for. Because when you walk with God, every step, no matter how small, moves you closer to purpose.